his fears of things getting out of control or uglier are ever present. Now, I'm much more of an optimist. I think we solve these problems, but I don't discount them. I don't discount how disgruntled people are. And it's clear that I may have reasons why I think that this is happening. Others think for different reasons. And we have to wait and see and have to be tolerant. The election is going to be really hard for everybody. Even us non-Americans who have to see our friends go through the emotional turmoil of what it does as social media splits people into two camps and turns them against each other, dumbing everything down to instant narratives of they're morons and they're morons. And I just urge all of you to keep a cool head, step back, observe where you're being manipulated and by whom. And trust me, you're being manipulated by everybody. Once you see that, it's much easier to deal with.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Raoul talks about how to navigate the signal from the noise and why he thinks America is moving rapidly toward a potential civil war. They also cover Tom's gaming project, Project Kaizen, and share their thoughts on the future of AI.
Yeah, but there again, we've always been manipulated. We started this conversation saying pretty much everything we do is manipulated by narrative. And is it any different being told by a politician or being told by an AI that has some AI? Will they have freedom? Probably in some respects. So it's creating this thing. I don't know, but it's the one thing I do know is it's going to happen for the reasons you said. There's enough lonely people in the world that this will happen. The other thing that leads to is population collapse. And this has been really interesting because Elon's been talking about this, and I don't think people have thought it through what he's trying to say. The more the population shrinks, the more we are economically incentivized to build more AI and more robots, the more we are likely to destroy all of humanity. Because it becomes this game of, if you want to keep the economic machine going, you need AI and robots for productivity because you've got less humans. And so therefore, and the more AI and the more robots, the more people are using character AI for their boyfriends and girlfriends, the less procreation, the faster the thing accelerates. And before you know it, we're completely overwhelmed by the AI and the robots, and we play a much smaller role. And they're incentivized to get better and better and better. So that's the end of humanity. Now, we could merge with the machines, obviously, but
around 3/4 of all circulating Bitcoin hasn't been moved for the past 6 months or more, according to on-chain data. The findings come from Glassnode's HODL wave chart, which uses blockchain data to give a macro view of Bitcoin, held in wallets based on the time since it last moved. The data shows around 74% has been stationary for most of 2024, despite the asset falling 21% from its all-time high. The dominance of older coins suggests that long-term investors are increasingly holding onto their BTC as a store of value, possibly anticipating future price increases. The holding trend also reduces the supply of Bitcoin available for trading, potentially leading to price appreciation as demand increases and supply is squeezed. Meanwhile, in an August 19X post, on-chain analyst James Check observed that more than 80% of Bitcoin short-term holders are underwater, as their holdings were acquired at higher than current spot prices. He cautioned that this could lead to further downsides if they panic sell as they did in previous years. Short-term holders are those who have held BTC for fewer than 155 days. This is similar to 2018, 2019, and mid-2021, which signaled many investors were at risk of panicking and precipitating a bearish trend. Broader market sentiment is still bearish, with the crypto fear and greed index registering a score of 28, deep in fear territory. Over the past few weeks, it has returned to fear levels not seen since December 2022. Bitcoin prices topped $60,000 in late weekend trading. However, they have since retreated sharply, falling to $58,000, $619 at the time of writing.
Yeah, which is utterly fascinating that the same guy that's warning people, hey, you better have kids, is the guy that's also making sure that we can brain interface so that we can keep up. It's really fascinating.
Real dichotomy because he's building AI and he's doing the brain interface whilst trying to sue OpenAI, which he started, say AI bad, while scaling AI. It's like, none of this makes sense.
Well, so I think it's actually interesting in that I think that's the only logical way forward. You are not going to be able to stop AI. It really isn't possible. And when I step back and look at, there's an algorithm embedded into the human brain that says technology can make tomorrow better than today, and I want that. And so we move in this one directional way, barring absolute catastrophe. For anybody that knows the Younger Dryas hypothesis, that there was a previously advanced civilization, probably nowhere near us, but an advanced civilization that was absolutely obliterated by a comet or who knows what, and civilization completely rebooted. And that's where you get all the myths of the floods. So barring that, though, we move in just this one-way line and we're never going back. And so you're going to see technology just get implemented more and faster. And so it's possible that because of that quirk of human minds seeking technology to make tomorrow better than today, it is inevitable that we are a midwife for AI. And as a human, obviously that's deeply disturbing. But ultimately, as of right now, we're all going to die anyway. So it's like, do we care if, as long as it's conscious, do we care if it's synthetic or biological?
And that's my point. I don't think we do. And I think we're going to go down this path regardless. There's so much incentivization for this to happen that it will happen. One of the things that I think is that what we think of now as the polarization of people, I think we've split in a accelerationist, decelerationist, i.e., those of us who want to use the technology, embrace it, and become at one with it. The reason you're wearing an Aura ring, or the reason we're using iPhones, or the reason I've got my Apple Watch on, or the reason, all of this stuff, right, is us moving that way. There's a whole bunch who are going to be decelerationist and say we don't have anything to do with that. And there's a fork in humanity coming here because the technologists will evolve in a different way than the non-technologists, which is kind of crazy to think. That we see an evolutionary split that could happen in humanity and soon.
This week, risk asset traders are focused on the U.S. Federal Reserve's Jackson Hole Symposium as markets demand cues on handling inflation. The annual event will feature a speech from Fed Chair Jerome Powell on August 23, and market observers will be keenly analyzing his language for confirmation of future policy easing. Just weeks after the flash equities crash originating in Japan, markets are on edge. The Fed, they believe, will have no choice but to cut interest rates at its next meeting in September. The latest data from CME Group's FedWatch tool maintains a 100% chance of a cut occurring in some form, with 71.5% odds of this coming in at 25 basis points. Commenting on the current landscape, trading resource The Kobayashi Letter acknowledged stock's impressive comeback since the Japan shock. As Cointelegraph reported, Japan's Nikkei 225 required just days to erase what was its biggest two-day decline in history. The S&P 500 is now just 2% away from a new all-time high, it noted in an X thread. Markets have gone from entering correction territory to eyeing new all-time highs in just days. Continuing, Craig Nouveau forecasts what he called a very interesting week of year. It's an event attended by central bank leaders from around the world, and it usually brings volatility, he told ex-followers. This year, Powell will speak about the upcoming rate cuts. Hot take: Powell could say that £50 billion cut in September is not on the table app. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Zella. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.